Welcome to the 2003 PDGA Worlds in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Did you like that shot?
Wow. Maybe the best piece of tape on any single shot since Craze at Columbus.
Maybe not. That was 850 feet. Elaine King with the near ace on hole number 18 at the Snowbowl course, and a great introduction to mountain golf in Flagstaff. I'm John Houck with Dan Roddick, and Dan, this year was a little bit different from what we're used to.
Well, the last few Worlds, we've had people down in high humidity and a little bit of heat. Now they're up at high altitude. Bring 336 players in here playing for $75,000, but a few different challenges.
Absolutely. And in a little bit, we're going to show you the finals for the top pros. But before we do that, let's take a look back at what happened during the week. The traditional start to the week was mixed doubles, and it went into overtime. Elaine King and Kevin McCoy finished in a tie for first, with Ryan Renz and Courtney Peavy. See them here on hole number 1 at the Little America course. There's Kevin's layup putt for the 3, and there's Courtney. Third place in the event went to Carrie Berlager and Sonny Ashby. We had a fourth place tie between Des Redding and Jay Redding, along with Sheila Kirkham and Barry Schultz. Valerie and Avery Jenkins finished in 6th. On the second hole, there's the layup from Ryan. They're going to take a 3, but Elaine King from downtown, that's the putt that wins it. And here are your champions, Kevin McCoy and Elaine King.
I have been under snapping the putts when I've been nervous, and this one I just concentrated on snapping it hard, and I did.
Field reporter Speedy Guerrero is with the champs.
I have with me the Mixed doubles world champions Elaine King and Kevin McCoy. Congratulations. It's a very difficult course that you played on. It's a tight course. Tell me about your challenges during the alternate round, the most difficult doubles.
Luckily, I have a great partner, and we really didn't get in much trouble. We kept it away from the big trees and the big rocks and kept ourselves on flat terrain. We really didn't have any troubles. It was hard, don't get me wrong, but a couple of good shots to get ourselves out of trouble made it kind of easy for us, actually.
Tell me about your strategy during the playoff.
Well, the playoff was the alternate format. Kevin and I were up first, and we were actually hoping the other team might be up first, and then we could see how they played. But hole number 1 is a very difficult hole. Even with a good drive, the basket is perched at a very precarious place, and a putt for a deuce is unlikely. So therefore, we looked to the next hole, hole number 2, where Kevin had a great strength throw over the trees, which I can't do. And so we decided we'd arrange it so that Kevin was teeing off on hole 2, and assuming we got a 3 on hole 1, I should tee off on hole 1.
Once again, congratulations and have a great Worlds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's meet some of the players at this year's event. Speedy Guerrero is out there working the crowd.
We're ready to go to the PDGA opening meeting.
My real name's Kent Parsons and my nickname's Thumper. I'm going to play well this weekend because my trainers are Jeff and Johnny Lisserman, and they've been working with me all week. And we got here last Tuesday. We played 14 rounds, and I'm ready to go.
Tell me which brother you are.
John Lisserman, how you doing?
What division are you playing in?
Masters.
Beautiful. Are you planning on winning?
I'm going to try to play as well as I can out here.
Everybody's so humble, and I appreciate that from you, too. Tuna, tell me what you think about the courses here in Flagstaff.
Lots of rocks, beat up your disc. Favor the old sidearm, can't complain about that.
It's not a world championship without this character. Give me your name and where you came from, please.
My name is Carl Joshin. I live in Charlottesville, Virginia. I like the courses. I like them a lot. I think the difference is you don't have to be able to throw 500 or 600 feet to play the course as well.
Now you're really making me wish like I was playing.
Nah.
My name is Courtney Peavy and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
How did y'all do today?
I got second.
Dave Greenwell, how you feeling?
Like a grandmaster. Always glad to be here. I've been to all of them, and Grandmaster is why I'm able to do this one, because they didn't have to play Snowbowl.
We're going to interrupt Dave Nesbitt from his official duties.
Didn't get a chance to play last year, so I'm looking forward to it. And cash-in is the goal.
Dave did run the World Championships last year. I was there. Very fun time.
Absolutely.
How are you liking these Worlds?
The Worlds are exciting. It's my first time out here. The courses look pretty good, very challenging.
Had a good day with Sheila. We had a good time out there. Didn't quite meet our expectations score-wise, but we had a lot of fun, played well.
And tell me your name, young lady.
Leslie DeMar.
How do you like Flagstaff?
Oh, the town's fun. The courses they're all right. I actually like the 2-time courses best.
Lori, how are you going to enjoy yourself here in Flagstaff this week?
Well, I'm hoping to help as much as I can, and I'm trying to run the office from the hotel room, doing the phone calls and the emails, but I am hoping to hit the pool.
I got lucky.
How'd you get lucky?
My wife said I could come like 2 weeks ago. I came for the scenery. You know all the Worlds I've been to, same old Midwestern stuff. Last night I went down to Sedona, this Oak Creek deal, and then today got up and went to the canyon. You could just sit at the canyon like you do the ocean and just sit there and just look at it for hours.
What do you think about these courses?
They're very nice. Very different than what we have in Michigan.
Until about a week ago, this lady was the AM World's Masters champion. Everybody you know in disc golf is here, right? This is a big party.
One of my good friends, Steve Wisecup, former world champion.
I felt the energy when I walked in the lobby. This world has got energy, and that's what we need is more energy. You can just feel it. It's electric. The players are pumped. I'm pumped. Terry's pumped, and I know you're pumped.
You know that I am.
Yeah, I know you are. Woo! So let's make it happen.
I'm the guy who doesn't stop talking. Hi. My name is Dan Ginley. I pretty much spearhead the Arizona Disc Golf Club. We're really glad to have you here.
Since 1979, Discraft has designed and manufactured tournament-quality flying discs for all disc sports. Our disc golf line is second to none. From beginners to world champion pros, disc golfers everywhere rely on the quality, consistency, and durability of every Discraft Pro Golf disc. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
The other one, you had to go over the trees, and if you were lucky, through the trees real low. So this is a great course and a great tournament so far.
Turnover shots are not my favorite, but I'm going to try to throw a Belcray and see if it'll turn to the right.
It feels really great. I mean, especially for the daughter to move up. You know, she's been playing AM for a few years and took the junior division 2 years ago, and then this year took second, tied second with Brittany from Wisconsin. And she's been playing really good. If I'm not on my game, she can outdrive me. And the son, he's very good. He's excellent. One of these years, he's going to get it. It might be this year.
It's really nice. It's a nice change. You come from the heat down in the valley, and NorCal series, we play a lot of lowland tournaments.
Have you practiced this hole in particular coming up?
I played all these holes once. Didn't do well on any of them. So I'm hoping to improve on the knowledge that I gained from doing poorly on the first one. It's way, way left. So it's just a big hyzer shot, get out into that flat, and then it's another, for our arms, another big shot to get to the hole. So if I get a 3 on this, that's a birdie for me.
It's kind of like the difference between a good round and a bad round is which direction the trees are leaning when you throw.
Nice button. This is like Mecca, going home, hanging out with hundreds of disc golfers. It's heaven, just heaven. Of course, coming from the other side of the world this time of the year, we're in the middle of the Southern Hemisphere winter. It is just muddy and cold and wet. And it's like this of summertime, but of course, to come from winter, bang, straight into summer, takes a bit getting used to, let alone the 7,000 feet. But I'm getting a handle on it. It's beautiful.
My name is Vero Schneider and I come from Berlin, Germany. I think I'm going to use my sidearm and use a stable disc, go out with the sidearm and we'll come back. That's the idea. That's the plan. Let's see what's going to happen.
We play at about 5,000 feet elevation in Hawaii, and this is still just sapping my strength.
Wrong side of the bat?
Yeah, you have to be accurate. A foot or two, one way or another, can make a big difference.
Lots of shots. You know, I think players who have a lot of shots are going to really be definitely to the advantage. This particular course here is a little lefty advantage, so if you've got an Anheuser, sidearms are going to be really, really important this weekend. Some overhands are also going to play in play.
For me, it's seeing the old friends again, like the 6 Worlds I participate in. So that's seeing the best players of the world. It's fun for me. It's like waiting for the finals and having fun. It's 50 Grandmasters. We don't have this in Europe. I played the European Championships. We had 5 Grandmasters, so that's about 10 times the field. That's fun. So that's why I'm over here.
Great honor and privilege to get to talk to Ruth Steele. Are you any relation to Remington Steele, by the way?
I am not.
No, okay. And congratulations to you. You just won your first national tour event at the last one, which was Kansas City. So you have the momentum going into this week.
In theory.
And it got a little rainy out there for you on the second round.
Yeah, it did. It rained we had a 1 hour delay before we even got to start playing, and it was very heavy rain and some hail. So, and none of us had umbrellas or waterproofs because most of our other halves were playing Snowbowl and had all our stuff with them. So
that's
a lot of us didn't have any rain gear, which is why you've got people wearing shorts out in the rain.
We actually got a little footage here.
This PDGA broadcast event brought to you by Alacrity Media. On time, on budget, on fire.
Our special guest tonight had me pretty stumped trying to think of a good introduction, but I think 2 words is probably all we need. The man in the world of disc golf, Ken Climo, 11-time world champion, Hall of Famer. Good to see you.
Thanks, John.
Having fun?
Having fun. It's a beautiful country up here.
It is beautiful.
Everything feels good. I was coming off a little bit of a hand injury, and I was kind of wondering about my first competition back if it'd be all right, and it seems to be all right.
So you had 2 months without any tournaments whatsoever.
Yeah, it's the first time in my career I've actually had to miss tournaments for any kind of injury. I've played injured on a few slight injuries before, twisted ankle and stuff, but it was my throwing hand and there's nothing I could do.
So you got here 3 days ahead of time? Went through the courses a couple times, or?
I went through them once, and after I saw them, I figured that was all I needed to play them.
Got the idea?
Yeah, it was, you know, a little random luck here and there, so it doesn't matter how many times you practice them, you still got to just make the shots and hope they get through.
And everybody's playing the same course.
That's right. You could say that my knowledge of ball golf is transferred to disc golf and maybe a little more conservative than I might have been otherwise.
So have you seen other guys making poor decisions on whether to go for it or stay safe?
No, we've only played 2 rounds, and you know, I might have seen a couple of poor decisions out there. And it was just maybe from the place they were in and not on the tee pad, but you know, tough getting into the trees and you get a tough upshot.
And after all these years, your first world title was in Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona.
All right, so you have some good memories of Arizona from that.
Definitely.
What is it that keeps you focused at this point? I mean, you have thoughts about your resume and your legacy. Has your love for the game and your desire to play changed at all over the years?
I feel it's definitely changed some. I mean, in the beginning, I was just a madman. You locked me up in an insane asylum. I played all the time. Every free hour I had, I was at the disc golf course, and I've definitely slacked off a little bit on that respect. But you know, it's like riding a bike. Like I said, you know, once you do it a whole lot, like I've done, it becomes ingrained, and you know, I don't need to practice as much as I used to. I don't think.
And so, is it the competitive aspect of it, or is it the love of playing the game?
I think both of those are great points of why I still do what I do and love doing it. I love throwing the disc. I love watching the disc fly. I love competing against the other players at top level. I love playing the course, and I think that's more so where I reside in my mental game when I'm out there. I'm not playing these guys. I'm playing the course.
Right.
I'm trying to beat that course. Whatever these other guys do, they're going to do. It's not in my control.
Right.
I got to play the course.
Playing fewer rounds now.
I'm looking for longevity. Yeah. I'm definitely, you know, I could play myself out like a lot of these guys do and get injured and run around with your hand on your shoulder or whatever you're doing. And that's not me. I don't want to play round after round, day after day. I'm looking to play till I'm 65, 70 years old.
Now, you were telling me you have primarily 3 discs in your bag: T-Bird, Rock, and Aviar. You have a Firebird in there for special situations. Is your stuff mostly candy?
It's a variation. I've got some SE stuff, I've got some KC stuff, I've got some Proline stuff. Okay, I've got some old San Marino rocks. I've got new 8-time, 10-time. I've got it's just a mixed bag of.
Okay, but it sounds like you've got a lot of stuff in there that can get nicked up on these trees and rocks. You had any trouble with that so far?
A little bit here and there, but that's to be expected.
You got enough of it to, you always got enough backup?
Yeah, the disc closet's doing pretty good these days. You know, it's all golf takes a little luck here and there. You know, no matter how good your skill level is, you're going to have a little bit of luck to play at the top level, you know, consistently on this type of course. And there's a lot of people out there that have thrown very similar shots to other people and they don't get the same results. And that goes into your mental game. You have to stay strong mentally and keep going forward and have confidence, and don't let it get into your head and ruin your confidence.
Yeah, I knew that. All right, let's see what the champ has here. Hole number 9, I believe. That's that little hyzer skip shot.
No, it was a straight shot, and it went downhill, and it just tended to go left on that hole, so you wanted to keep it really flat and straight. And I think we all threw fairly good shots on this hole.
That one's fairly good. You missed the pole though.
Got to adjust on that one, I guess. Those are shots that make you happy right there. Not much work on the putt.
Not a bit. All right. Well, good stuff there. So what are you thinking for the rest of the week?
I'm thinking keep it in the 40s and just play consistent, you know, just don't have a bad round. That's what it takes, really. It takes a bunch of good rounds. It doesn't take great rounds. It just takes a bunch of good rounds.
Now, in your mind, is there anybody who's more likely to be there at the end this year?
Well, I know Barry really, really wants it. I mean, he's been nip and tuck, you know, for the last couple of years with me and a lot of the major championships and big tournaments. I know it's on his mind, and everybody's calling for him to win since he's played such a great national tour this year. He's been the man this year, for
now,
sure.
is there a situation where maybe, you know, late in the final 9, it's a close game, you say, you know, I've had my chance, maybe I'll let Barry have one?
That thought never crosses my mind.
I just thought I'd ask. All right, 11-time champion Ken Climo, thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you, John.
Good luck this week.
We'll need it.
Disc golfers work hard all year to save their money to travel to the World Championships and pay the entry fee, but the money from their piggy bank goes to the Fly Mart. Ace Field reporter Speedy Guerrero was on the scene.
Selling some Ultimate Disc, got some floppy flyers, but all the stuff is done locally in Fort Collins where our brewery is.
What we have here is the Ken Climo series of Vipers. Well, I was hooked up with the Flying Eye crew. The original Flying Eye crew, Nick Sartori, Ken Climo, and Bucky Warboy.
379 World's Discs, 4 complete sets.
They call this stamp's called the boob stamp. A woman following through in excitement, looks like she's banging chains. And well, the best players in the world, the females, have signed that.
And a bottle cap basket. There goes a shot. Oh.
Glenn Whitlock, and I was the original touring disc golfer who actually made his money, his living from playing disc golf. After a lengthy career overall and playing all sorts of disc sports, I turned to golf, and here I am.
Well, we played so bad this year that we figured we'd drink much booze to get there and buy as many discs as possible while we're here.
These are kind of rare because they have the original sheen on them, the original metal sheen. I bought these with pie still on them. I've had to clean pie off these things. These go back 60, 70 years. And this is the history of our sport right here because the workers at the Frisbee Pie Company started tossing these things around. The kids started tossing it. And because these things can really, you know, give you a good whack, when they threw it, they'd yell Frisbee.
Hi. Tell me your name and how much fun you're having today.
My name is Michelle Baker and I'm having an awesome time. Thank you. It's beautiful here. Love the courses.
Everything under the sun. What do you want? That's what I ask people. Well, all I can say is that's usually the challenge. Ask me for something I don't have. I usually find something.
This is something that I came up with back in '96. I had a t-shirt from the Amateur World Championships that I really liked, but I'm not really much of a t-shirt wearer. So I tried to think of a way to preserve it, and I created a quilt. This is actually probably about the 10th or 12th one that I've made. And I'm hoping to get people to save up their shirts and send them to me, and then I can make them this commemorative quilt.
I've never seen anything like it before, actually. It has a nice shiny coat.
This disc does not go through, not only on the top, but you know what, I tested this myself extensively and threw every shot in my bag. And I got one to go through, and that was like a jump forehand from about 10 feet, and I whacked it.
Custom designed photograph, designed by me and my friend Dan. It's a 2-minute photograph with me behind the basket, dressed in black, waving a traffic light.
It's a new, unique disc from Arobi. Superflight makes it, the same people that make the Pro Ring. It's got a unique outer rim. One side is actually wider than the other. It's actually a elliptic design.
Well, funny you should ask, because I believe whoever's making the videos here are doing a great job today in the Tiffany Tree Lounge. I hear this Pink Floyd tune. It's reggae-esque Pink Floyd, and I like that the best. I just was a little shocked at the quality and all this excitement and fun just happened to be here.
What's special is the White Widow stamp. There's only 100 made.
From one thing to another.
She does all the preparation work. It's vinyl, sheet vinyl, all hand cut. All this is cut out.
He is a real artist because he comes up with stuff like this and I can't do it.
Ken Lee, Flagstaff, Arizona, having a lot of fun. This is great.
PDGA, where the players play. PDGAstore.com. Visit us online where you'll find the gear you need to bring your game to the next level. Disc bags, shirts and caps, action videos, and more. Get it from the source. Buy your disc golf gear where the players play.
Buy PDGA gear at PDGAstore.com. That's PDGAstore.com.
Miles Harding was the world champion last year in Miami at the Amateur World Championships in the junior division. You're 16 now.
Mm-hmm.
You won the junior division last year, but your score was good enough that you would have beat the top advanced guy.
Yeah.
Playing from the same tees all week.
Yep.
Everything the same. This guy wakes up every day. He says, "I'm leading my division, but I'm getting beat by a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Still, you walk out with the world title. He walks out with the world title.
Yeah.
Did he send you anything for Christmas?
No, just gave me a smirk and left.
I think he owes you big. If you had played in his division, he wouldn't have a world title right now.
Nope.
No. But you know in your heart.
I got to beat him.
Yeah. All right.
I've been playing pro the whole season this year.
Okay. What's your longest throw?
485.
485?
Right after the AM Worlds, I went to my first pro tournament, and I won that. So.
You won your first pro tournament?
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for coming in.
No problem.
We'll be looking for you all the way along this week, not to mention 6 or 7 years. Hang on to this tape, because we want to play it back when he's like a big star. See if his touring week turns out like he thought. All right, thanks, Mom.
No problem.
Just warming up a couple days before the tournament, trying to find the paths through those trees. How's it been going so far?
Not too bad, not too bad. First ever Pro Worlds.
Oh, really?
I've been playing this was still my 3rd year. So I did AM Worlds and came out and said, hey, I came out with a bunch of buddies, said, hey, let's go do it. So I'm on vacation, have some fun, play some new courses in Arizona, and just getting have him playing with better guys, and we're cheering on Barry Schultz. Hopefully he pulls it off this year.
.69 feet, uphill, through a tight little fairway. If it had been flat, how far do you think it would have gone?
Maybe 500.
That was a crash.
Yeah.
I was just telling this guy what a dumb hole it is. Nobody could reach it. Then you put it 2 feet past the basket.
Yeah, I couldn't do it during practice, so I had to do it today.
Tonight is Master Night here at our casual interview area, and we're going to start with the 2001 World Master Champion, Joey Mela. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You won 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You were in the mix last year.
Yeah.
Had a little problem with the heat. This year, little issues with the altitude?
Yeah, little issues with the altitude. Discs aren't turning over like they would at, sea level. So having a little trouble getting those shots down the fairway a little straighter than normal. And the problem is, for me, that stuff, I'm not used to throwing down a narrow fairway 350 feet. I mean, you can't throw a phantom 350 feet. It's going to turn for me, right? But I'm going to come up short of the hole. Yeah, that's good for a nice, easy 3. But I'm trying to get deuces. And nothing else is going to turn over for me. The rock is it's still not long enough. The eagle is just too stable. Because my putting is on. I just could not get there today. The birdie holes, I kept coming up 60, 70 short. I think most of the players are having the same trouble. You're thinking sea level. You're thinking this thing is going to flip over. And it don't. It don't at all. It just goes. And it just dies right out.
Maybe we can talk him into moving the baskets a little closer for you.
Maybe.
Joey, everybody looking at these courses going, it's a lefty's dream. You're a lefty. You're on the 3rd card after Wednesday. What's going on out there?
Well, today I would just have to say my timing was bad. The lefty shots are there. They are there, and I just did not take advantage of them.
Innova, #1 in disc golf for the 20th year in a row. These are the 2003 Innova champions. World champion, Barry Schultz. Women's world champion, Juliana Korver. Master world champion, Brad Hammock. Grandmaster world champion, David Greenwell. Senior Grandmaster world champion, Peter Shive. United States champion, Barry Schultz. United States women's champion, Des Redding. World distance record holder, Christian Sandstrom. More world champions have chosen Innova than all other brands combined. What's your choice?
So far this week, we've been interviewing only world champions, and we thought we would keep our streak alive. Tonight we have 4-time world champion, Juliana Korver. Thank you for coming in.
My pleasure. My approach is so much different this year than it was last year, and it's not really my doing. I mean, somehow I'm in a different mindset, and it's a better one. Last year I was playing very scared, worried about losing the title, and well, it happened, and it's not the end of the world, and here I am, and now I'm much more relaxed, and of course I still hope to come out on top, but it's not the end all of everything.
This is footage from Thursday at Snowbowl, and here we are on hole #1, and Juliana is clad in all her rain gear.
Vortex.
Now you guys have probably had the worst weather of anybody all week. We were talking to the Masters. I mean, they haven't had any rain all week basically, and you guys got hammered a couple times. Hole #1 this morning is right about when it started to rain. It looked like it might turn out to be kind of nasty. Were you having some premonitions at that point?
I was just hoping, well, I was hoping for the best, hoping that it would clear off, but I really didn't think it would. And I wasn't sure we were going to get the round in, actually. One of the local ski patrol ladies that was following the group for a while asked me if we had an alternative plan. And since she was local, I thought she might know the weather a little bit better than we did, so I was a little worried.
But it turned out to be beautiful by the time it was all over.
Yes, it did.
Now, here's your putt on hole #2. You notice that you are putting last. Seemed to me like you were out driving the group pretty consistently, and that didn't quite jive with what I remembered. Are you thrown farther this year?
I don't think so.
Really?
But I think I throw farther uphill than the other girls at this point. Des has not played at elevation a lot, and she's learning fast. And I would suspect after not too many rounds, she would be throwing as far as I am uphill.
So a matter of angle and or body position off a flat tee pad going up a hill?
I think so.
You just know that stuff.
I don't know. For some reason I can do that. But I think on flat ground, well, another aspect actually might be the fact that when I'm throwing uphill, I throw almost as hard as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And on flat ground, I never throw as hard as I can. I throw 75 to 80%.
Really? That's because uphill, you don't have to worry about it rising out or turning over. It's going to hit the hill. Fascinating. That's a good tip for all our listeners who play mountain courses. Now, and you guys were there also for the shot of the tournament when Elaine hit the basket on 18.
When the basket saved me from being hit by Elaine's disc. I was 20 feet below the basket, lining up my putt, looking up at the basket, and all of a sudden from behind me I hear Annie, "Whoa, whoa, incoming, incoming."
Oh, you hadn't even putted out
No.
yet? Oh my goodness, she should get stroked for that.
So I'm looking at it, I was like, yeah, that's coming right at us, and it's fast, and I dive out of the way, and it hits the basket and bounces off. But had it not hit the basket, and had I not moved, it would have probably been about 2 feet from hitting me. Yeah, that was exciting.
Oh, see, that's what that was, because we were up with that camera spot near the tee, and I thought I heard somebody say, $10 you can't hit Julie, but I said that That can't possibly be what she said. But you know Elaine, I mean, she'll always take a bet.
Oh, I know.
And it was 10 American, too. Okay. So, how many practice rounds did you get in up here?
At least 2 for every course, and NAU I played 3 times.
Okay, so you'd been to Snowbowl twice for practice rounds.
Right.
And you played it the previous day. Did you have any problems getting acclimated initially?
No, we were in Colorado for 2 weeks prior to this. So we've been at elevation for 3 weeks now, so no problems at all.
No problem. And do you think it is easier for your division playing that back-to-back on consecutive days, or would you rather have had them spread out a little bit?
I'd rather play that course every single round. I don't think it made a difference. I mean, because we only played 1 round for the day, so we've got the entire day to recuperate. And I didn't hear, I mean, some of the women said their legs were a little sore, but I don't think it would have made a difference if we had a day to rest in between or not.
Well, and this course really sticks out like a sore thumb in this tournament because the other 3 courses are so similar to each other in terrain,
this is drastically
hole
different,
length, and fairway width and all that.
Beauty.
Beauty, absolutely. What are your thoughts about the other 3?
I don't really care for them that much. My main criteria when I judge a course is beauty. Visually, how stimulating it is, And I think that Snowbowl is amazing. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I would put it in my top 5 favorite courses. The other 3 are...
Nice putt, by the way.
Thank you. The other 3 are forgettable.
Yeah.
And they're very similar, and they're not very exciting. It's kind of a result of the terrain. There's not much you can do.
Right. Well, what are other examples of beautiful top 5?
Stafford Lake, California.
Okay.
Järva in Sweden.
Oh, really?
I like, what is the one in Madison, the new one in Madison, Token Creek. It's a really pretty one. McNaughton, Mount Airy. I like...
De La Viega?
Used to.
Used to.
It's quite eroded and really run down, and grass is kind of gone. The De La Viega from 5 to 7 years ago, absolutely.
Oh, really? There was grass then?
Depends on what time of the year you play it.
Huh.
But the first time I went out there, there was grass, and it was one of the most amazing courses at the time that I'd ever played.
Okay, how about some courses in a beautiful state with which you are very familiar? Courses we're going to be seeing for the World Championships next year.
I think people are going to be thrilled with the courses next year. Grandview is it's a city park, but it's a really, really nice course for being in a city park. Walnut Ridge is beautiful. I think they're going to do some changes, which they should, because it's not maybe that difficult. Ewing, amazing, amazing. The surroundings, the elevation for Iowa, the elevation, the foliage. It's an arboretum as well. It's beautiful. And some of the other courses, as far as I'm concerned, aren't as pretty, but they're really fun courses.
And you had a hand in one of them, I understand.
I've actually had a hand in a couple of them.
Oh, really?
Well, Walnut, Grandview, and then quite a bit of effort in the Pickard in Indianola.
So that's got to be an advantage for you.
Oh, I don't know if I
don't know. I never play well on courses I designed.
Yeah, I don't know that it makes a difference.
Well,
Actually, I'm nervous about it because if people don't like it, then I feel responsible.
Ah, well, just one little part of it. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
My pleasure.
Good luck the rest of the week and
Thank you.
the rest of the year.
Thank you.
And we'll keep an eye on you.
Okay.
But no pressure. Just go have fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Discraft is pleased to be the title sponsor of the 2003 PDGA Professional World Disc Golf Championships. Make sure and log on to Discraft.com after the event for information on Discraft disc golf products. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
How's your game today, Coach?
Oh, typical. One good one, then behind a tree. But having a good time and we're surviving. That's all it's about, learning. So we can get ready and do it again next year.
Yeah.
In the Legends division, for players over 70 years of age, Ted Williams came out on top for the third consecutive year. Stancil Johnson finished in second with Jack Ekstrom in third.
Wow, and what a week it has been here in Flagstaff. I mean, the mountains have come into play. We're talking about weather delays, we're talking about storms, exhaustion, tremendous challenge for the players.
And it all takes us down to 9 holes to play. So let's go now to the Little America course to watch the final 9 holes.
John, let's take a look at the Women Pro Masters.
Start on hole number 9 of their 9-hole final. This is Peggy Berry of Colorado, who is about to win her first world title.
There's Andy Lehman of Houston, Texas, with a nice upshot.
And here's a good story. Kathy Hardiman of Colorado, who just won the Am World Championships. Finally, Lisa Warner of Ohio. But with this putt, Peggy makes it official. She is the 2003 Women's Master World Champion.
And Andy finishes out.
She'll finish in 3rd place. Kathy will finish in 4th. And Lisa Warner,
oops,
she'll get an extra shot, but she's going to finish in 2nd.
And she hits the tough one.
And I think a lot of people at home are asking the same question I heard in the gallery today. Where did she come from?
It's a small town called LaPorte, Colorado. I've been playing for about 5 years now, and I've had Nadine Cosgrove and Sheila Kirkham to push me, so I think that's helped my game a lot.
Now, Dan, the Senior Grandmasters. We'll pick up the action on the same hole, number 9. Take a look out from the bushes here. This is Peter Shive.
Oh, great up.
Just about put it in. It's Jerry Robbins of Kansas.
It's Pete May out of Augusta, Georgia. He's a PDGA board member.
Pete had a very strong tournament. He's going to finish in 2nd place. Jerry will finish in 4th. Ray Carr of California in 3rd, and there's Peter Shive of Wyoming, our world champion once again.
I think that's 3 out of 4 for him. Here's our Grandmasters.
Steve Slazer of Florida, the Hall of Famer and disc golf legend. This is on hole number 8. Down that hill is the pond. Alan Beaver of North Carolina.
Stop.
He's going to get another crack at that.
There's Mark Horn out of Altadena, California. Bonk.
This is back to hole number 9 now. The view from behind the tee. Mike Travers on a hole that's pretty typical of the city courses. Brent Edwards of Oklahoma, not quite able to hit the fairway.
Glenn Treemstra from San Diego.
And these guys are used to that. Be a lot of trouble on these courses, and if you miss the fairway, you're going to have some tough shots coming out. As Horn and Travers and Treemstra putt out. Now this is Glenn Henry of Virginia, who, along with Dr. Rick, shot a 26 in the final 9. Those were the best scores among the group. Randy Beers of Florida, able to push through the branches. Give himself a nice short putt that he almost made. But the big story this year in the Grand Masters was the presence of David Greenwell, who decided to join that division late in the going. Had good battles all week long with Dr. Rick Vokes, who is, of course, famous for pinpoint shots.
And great putting.
When he needs it.
That's a pretty good combination. John Bird out of Colorado.
John, of course, one of the players used to the elevation that the courses provide this year. The city course is at about 8,000 feet. Snowbowl at about 10,000 feet. As Mr. Beaver gets one through. And Bird's second shot comes up short.
John's a good all-around player. He's really been playing for a long time. Used to be a field events player. He's really solid.
And as the lead group approaches their final green, it's been a long and trying week. A lot of wrapped up knees in this group.
Getting a pretty good crowd to watch these guys.
They did. This was had the schedule set up so that these guys could get a bit of their own gallery before the final groups came up. Alan Beaver's going to see if he can finish his tournament here from about 45 feet.
Oh, my.
Off the rim, and this time it stays. So Alan will finish in 5th place this year.
You had to be thinking about that previous hole's putt.
Yeah, actually, I think he had a couple of them during that final round that hit the rim and rolled out, but that one managed to stay in. John Bird will finish in 4th place.
Well, this division has never been as competitive as it is in this event.
Absolutely. And David Greenwell is going to be the one coming up on top. Dr. Rick will finish in 2nd. Glenn Henry comes off the 2nd card to finish in 3rd. Disc golf combines a modern recreational phenomenon with one of the world's great games. Disc golf is a lifelong activity that promotes good health, flexibility, concentration, and mental discipline. Disc golf is a great game for players of all ages and abilities, and is a great way for you and your company to become more involved in the community. The growth and development of disc golf are driven by the PDGA. The Professional Disc Golf Association helps bring this exciting family recreation to everyone.
And the Masters division, they have to be at least 40 years of age to play.
We pick up our coverage on hole 4 of their final 9. This is Jeff Lissaman.
NorCal.
See the wind picking up at times here. This is Jim Oates, who won the Masters World Championships in Rochester. And last year's champion, Brad Hammock from Atlanta.
Larry Leonard
from North Carolina. If this hole looks familiar, it was played as hole number 9 for the previous divisions. Now to hole number 5, where Oates out of the creek bed.
I don't think there's ever been a major championship that shot was as important as in this one.
Well, there's no question about that, Dan. There was a lot of short, tight fairways here where a lot of the players elected to go over the top, sometimes with a big hyzer shot, but a lot of upside-down shots at this year's event. Here now are the drives on hole number 6, about 600 feet long. And on to hole number 8, where we see Larry bringing out the sidearm shot. This is a long par 5 over the lake.
That is a long upshot.
Yes, and it's going to leave him down on the low side of the green. Lissaman, who played this one around the lake. Nice touch on that. Leaves himself a very makeable putt.
Looks like that strategy paid off for him.
Larry goes to the... I don't know if he picked this as a time to learn how to use that sidearm or what he's thinking there.
Boy, Brad doesn't spend too long after he's decided what to throw there.
He knows what he's doing. Larry, by the way, made it into the final 9 after winning a playoff with Scott Papa and Mitch McClellan to take that 4th spot. And this time, nope, just a little bit off. Lissaman, normally a rock-solid putter, just a little bit low, and we move on now to the final hole of the tournament for the Masters. This is hole number 9. It's 320 feet across the valley. A small green to land on.
It's a great finishing hole, I thought.
Absolutely, and wind can be a big factor on this hole. Not much wind playing right now for these guys, and Brad makes a beautiful rip that finishes about 4 feet from the hole.
It'll be tough to get inside that.
Well, and Jeff Lissaman, of course, not known for his driving length.
He's all right on a hole of this length. I think what he is known for is sticking it right on greens like this.
And now Jim Oates.
That looks pretty good.
And it does indeed. A near ace for Jim Oates on the last hole. Boy, that hit a lot of chains and rim and just didn't quite stay. But a good treat for the gallery here.
Tough act to follow there for Larry.
I think Larry got a little bit shook. That is well wide and way deep. Almost found the parking lot. Here's his birdie attempt. Yeah, he got it close. That's the kind of putt we expect to see from Lissaman, and he will finish in 3rd place this year. Very solid 2nd place for Jim Oates. Larry Leonard will finish in 4th. And our winner this year, doesn't even need to look. That's 2 in a row Masters titles for Brad Hammock.
He's still running those earplugs. I think he's got earplugs in there.
Yeah, a lot of the guys enjoy this division for the camaraderie. Brad decided to go with the earplug. Okay, Dan, now let's take a look at our pro women.
Juliana with 7 strokes on the field.
And that is a shocker, Dan, because she started today 2 strokes behind. She comes out a 12-hole round this morning, 7 strokes ahead.
Wow. After what had been just tight all week. Nice start.
Hole number 1 is 340 feet. It's across a valley. Very small green. Drops off on the back, on the right, and on the left. That shot is a little bit on the left, and that tree sends it further. And what does it tell us about Des that she's still smiling at this point? Currently in 3rd place, it's Nadine Cosgrove. And after this morning's round, she's actually within 2 strokes of Des now. That was inconceivable before today.
Annie Kreml from California. Going a little wider. Hoping to come in the side door and kind of gets it done.
Well, she got a little bit of a hole there. Annie, of course, a former world distance record holder. Here's Des going with the big spike hyzer up the hillside, and that sits down right about where she wants it. Nadine lays up. Juliana was just about pin high, left herself a little sidearm.
A lot of these greens have been trapped real effectively by these large trees.
Yeah, not to mention some large rocks. Annie played safe there to make sure that she didn't wind up going down the hill. As Juliana will take a 3. Des will take a 3. 3 for Annie. And a 3 for Nadine as well. Hole number 2, 505 feet. This is definitely a 2-shot hole for the women. It's going to be a little bit of a hyzer shot into an alley here, and you want to know where that alley is, take a look at this shot. She's almost all the way through that alley and going to leave herself probably about a 175-foot Anheuser shot for the approach. Des with a nice rip, but that is wide. Well, kicked her back into play. I don't think she's going to have a straight shot at the pin from there.
I mean, when you start playing in Iowa, this must be a kind of a shock to see fairways like these.
Well, we will know exactly what those Iowa fairways are like next year.
That's right.
We go there for the Pro and Amateur Worlds and Junior Worlds. Annie found the same line as Des, but she didn't get the nice tree kick. So she'll be out first. She got a straight shot at it. Basket's a little bit to the right from there, but she's going to have a putt.
Did you notice that she actually roll curved that through there and held it the whole way? Same with Des. I mean, there aren't that many players who can throw that.
Des definitely got the big turn on it. Nope. Of course, body English is the key to getting a successful finish on those shots. Nadine left herself with a low hyzer. Tough coming out of there. Juliana should have no problem here. That's, like I said, right where you want to be on that drive, and that is right up by the basket. Here's Nadine's third shot, going a little bit deep. Annie can't quite convert on her par attempt. Des for 3, just a little bit short. Nadine now, oh, she's going to wind up taking a 5 here. Juliana takes the lone par on the hole to stay at 19 over. Des with a 4 at 27. She picks up 1 stroke on Nadine, who takes a 5. She's at 30 over now.
Somehow Juliana made that look pretty routine and gained a stroke.
Hole number 3, 585 feet. It's a dog leg to the left. The pond is on the left side of the fairway. Juliana got good distance on that and put it right in the heart of the landing area. Des wants it to get up a little bit. She's going to be in decent shape. A little further to the right than you'd rather be. And that's substantially further right than you want to be. Look at Nadine. Dan, I've watched her play over the years, and I don't remember ever seeing her put any out there like that. She seems to really have added a lot of distance.
It's really a quick release. I was really impressed when I first saw her throwing.
There's another good rip. Needs to get up a little bit. Skates just by one of the many pine trees out on the course this afternoon. Des going over the top.
You should like that.
Oh, I think everybody's going to like that one. Juliana had a little bit of a footing issue on her lie there. She's going to be a little short.
Hasn't that been one of the real challenges of the week? Just really uneven footing in a lot of situations.
Nice third shot by Annie. Yeah, actually, I think on this final 9, it's a little more of a issue with high growth there on the edge of the fairway. During the week, it was mostly issues of rocks on the fairway. This is a beautiful but rocky part of the country. Nice putt by Nadine. She'll take a 4. Annie with a 4. Des gets the lone par on hole number 3. That'll put her now 4 strokes up on Nadine as Juliana takes a 4. Hole number 4, 315-foot tunnel shot, which we saw earlier in our coverage. Several of the other groups playing it as hole number 9 in their finals today. This is hole number 4 on the Safari 9.
So these holes are holes that the players haven't played earlier in the week.
Well, in this case, they have played it. In the case of hole number 1, just a slight variation, but for the most part, these are all new holes. And for the most part, a lot more open and a lot longer than what they were used to during the week. But they would have played this particular hole twice coming into this final 9 holes. Second shot now for Annie. Looks to be in just about tap-in range. Nadine.
So many players got down in that little groove there and without fail have hit that tree as they make their
That's what it's there for. You definitely want to clear that if you can. Every once in a while we'd see a putt going in. Not too many off the knee there. Juliana for birdie. Yes!
She has a level of concentration on those that she's just figuring it's going to go in.
Concentration and confidence. So 2 for Juliana, 3s for everybody else. We go now to hole number 5.
I love the fact that she has her mother caddying for her here.
Yeah, her mother seemed to have a good time out here this weekend too. 549 feet. Back up to that little tiny green among those big trees. The big danger on this hole is the cavernous creek bed, which in some spots is almost 8 feet deep. Des, what a great pump. And she clears the creek bed, leaving herself a very makeable second shot. Annie got hers up a little bit.
It's creekage.
Oh, yes it is. Nadine, well, she's playing that a little bit safe. She's going to be well over the creek, but she's actually going to be on a little bit of a side hill well short of the basket. She's going to have to get back up on top of the next ridge, which she does, and she needs to hang on. Well, she hung on.
Wow, I hate to see him throw in the towel like that.
Okay, this is a big uphill shot when you're not starting 6 feet deep. And Annie unable to get it up onto the green. But not a problem for Des. Puts a little bit of turn on it. Gets it right up onto the flat spot. She'll have a big drop off behind the basket.
That's the thing, it falls off. It's almost on a little peak there. You can't afford to go past.
Pretty much just like that is how you want to make that shot. Ooh, that needs to sit, and it does. I don't know if she was listening for rocks or crowd reaction. Oh, nice run by Nadine. Oh. Yeah, that was Des's par putt. She has gone down below.
I thought those little nubs were supposed to keep that from happening.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, my.
All the way back down. One more try. She hit that same tree. Annie just a little bit short. So Des took a 6 on that hole. Nadine took a 4, so Nadine is now back within 2 strokes in the race for second place. As we move on to hole number 6, 606 feet. Again, with the pond on the left side of the fairway.
That's playing it pretty safe.
That is indeed, and this hole pretty much going to be straight away. The pin is going to be in among a couple big pine trees. And she's in the sweet part of the fairway. Now Des, who just had a rough hole and follows it up with a bad drive. And Dan, it just seems like she does this every once in a while. Of course, this was the close battle in this entire tournament all this week. Des and Juliana were tied after the second round. They were tied after the fourth round, the fifth round, the sixth round. And then in the seventh round this morning, they were tied going into the fifth hole. Des went double bogey, double bogey, double bogey, while Juliana was parring. She lost 6 strokes on 3 holes, and then proceeded to bogey the next 2 holes and lose 2 more. Ever since that little stretch, they've been playing just about even again, but Des's whole tournament came down to those 5 holes.
That is just unbelievable, given how consistent she is in general when you look at the rest of her scorecard.
Yeah, and she and Juliana were basically stroke for stroke. I don't know that anybody got more than a 3-stroke lead, certainly not at the end of a round, more than 3-stroke lead all during the week. And all of a sudden the wheels just came off. Of course, Nadine now back within striking distance of Des. She could have used that. We'll move on now to hole number 7. Hole number 7, 270 feet. There's a straight tunnel option. There's a tight hyzer option, which we see Des elects. And there's also an anhyzer option just below and to the right of the pin lurks the pond. And Nadine goes with the hyzer option, does not come back up. She's down at the bottom by the pond. She was really flirting with the water there on that drive. Juliana for deuce, a little bit short. Des hits the deuce. That'll help her cause.
Boy, it was really pretty difficult to deal with that water on that hole. I don't see how they actually could have played that any more to their advantage than they did.
Well, if you think there was water on that hole, this is hole number 8, 777 feet across the water. There is an area to lay up on the left side of the pond, but Annie chooses to lay up short of the pond. Des goes wide and lays up on the slope down by the water.
Let me ask you something. I mean, and the question comes up of hole design. Is this hole built correctly for this division?
Well,
you see
that depends on how you play it, and Nadine seems to have found her own route. I'd say this is a tough hole for this division. One of the things about this final 9, as Juliana elects not to go straight across the pond, but play off to the left a little bit. It was just basically the logistics factors that for this final Safari 9, the Open, Masters, and Women were all playing from the same tee. So some holes set up better for one division, some better for another, but Annie is straight over the pond on her second shot. And so is Des. If that hangs on, she might even be able to get up by the green area, but she's going to fade out. Have a elevated green on this hole that's about 70 feet wide. And boy, Nadine, I guess, was trying some kind of backdoor route around the other side of the pond.
Oh my goodness.
And she's just finding a lot of pine trees back there.
There should be a tournament GPS that you get to carry with you.
Yeah. Annie's third shot. She's just about on the green, but not in a real good spot. Juliana's third shot is going to be below the green. Des with a strong third shot. Hang on. Nope, she's going to be down in the valley still.
What an adventure this hole is. My goodness.
Nice to see Nadine back among the living, and look at that shot. And Annie's back with us. See how the wind has become a factor just recently as Des goes over the green and back down on the other side. But no problem there for Juliana.
As if it weren't difficult enough, throw a little bit of wind in there as well.
Holy cow, Dan, can you believe the luck? Des goes by the basket, catches a roll, and now she's going down again.
Oh,
sit down at least. Tough hole for Des. If Nadine had played a, well, we can't really say a more traditional route since nobody's ever played this hole before, but a more conventional route, she would have had a chance to make up some big strokes on Des. As it is, 5 for Juliana, 7 for Des, 6 for Nadine, 5 for Annie, and that brings us to hole number 9 across the valley, 320 feet. Certainly one that Juliana could reach, but she plays just on the short side of the valley. Annie's going to go ahead and gun at it.
It's our distance champion. Has she got enough?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
That'll play.
Things quite a bit windier here now than they were when Jim Oates nearly aced this basket a while back. Look at the power on Nadine Cosgrove. Wow. She has put it past the basket. Of course, Des has power to burn. Right now, she just needs to get the right line.
You know, John, this is a tighter pattern of shots than any other division that came through there.
Yeah, we had 3 just about right up there. Juliana was the only one who wasn't making a run at it, but she'll take the easy layup. And Nadine now actually needed that to stay ahead of Annie. She'll take a birdie on the final hole. Des birdies. I'm sure she feels good about getting one on the way out after having some tough times today. Annie birdies. She'll finish in 4th. Nadine in 3rd. Des in 2nd. And there's Juliana back on top. Her 5th world title. String was broken last year by Des, but now she ties Elaine King's record with 5 PDGA world titles.
When you think of how close this was all week, I mean, that must have been a tremendous strain for both Juliana and Des. I mean, just every day. I mean, that was the race.
You can see, obviously, an emotional moment.
I mean, really, the margin was just that 3 holes.
Same final 9 holes that we saw for the Masters and the women. Mike Randolph and Marcus Karlstrom wishing each other good luck. But the man of the hour is Barry Schultz. A lot of close competitors during the week this time around. But going into the final 9 holes, it is pretty much the Barry show. He has a 7-stroke lead. And a nice start on this 340-foot first hole.
Looks like he made a fairway there somehow.
He throws hard enough. I think he does clear brush on several instances. Ron Russell, former world champion. Not quite able to clear his own fairway there. And he managed to stay up on top. Marcus Karlstrom, from Sweden, who has unbelievable power. He's going his own way here. Yeah, not quite what he was looking for. And Mike Randolph, who had one of the best final nines, possibly the best final nine in the history of the PDGA Worlds at Port Arthur in 1995. And he made a big point of telling everybody during the week that he hadn't really gone away. He's still in the mix, and he showed that he still got the skills this week. Barry right up by the pin on this postage stamp sized green.
I love that lunge putt of his. I mean, he's going after it.
So it's threes around the horn on hole number 1. Now to the 505-foot hole number 2, which, as we saw with the women, there's a hyzer fairway. Barry's trying to find his own Anheuser fairway through the pines there. And Ron decides might as well just go over everything with the big Anheuser. Well, he had good distance, but I don't think he's going to like that lie. Karlstrom. Karlstrom actually one of the few players. Holy cow.
Goodness. That would have been my thought.
Well, he's one of the few players who actually walked through the 9 holes on the preceding day. He's just about pin high there, Dan, on a 500-foot hole, and he didn't exactly go the direct route.
I don't see how he could strategize with anyone else because he's playing a different game.
Randolph gets over the top, fades out a little bit at the end there, but he is in the open. Barry punching through the pines with great success.
That was so close to the tree initially.
Ron Russell goes to the big hyzer. That's about all he had out of there. He's going to leave himself well short. This is now Mike Randolph's birdie run.
That was even outside of lunge range there.
I think so. This is Karlstrom for birdie. Just about.
Boy, that was a great approach, really. It had a chance, stayed tight.
Ron with the no-look putt. That was
well, it looks like almost a compromised no-look. I mean, it was kind of a glance putt.
Barry takes a 3. Randolph takes a 3. Karlstrom, of course, with the 3, but Ron Russell takes a 4. That now puts Marcus Karlstrom in sole possession of second place. Barry plays safe here on hole number 3. Again, 585 feet. Hard dog leg to the left. Karlstrom not interested in the dog leg.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, what? He's disappointed he didn't park it? Randolph also with great power. But they're getting a lot of lift out there as they go over the pond area. I think he's going to be in good shape. The pin, of course, very well protected in the pine trees. And Ron Russell now currently at 32 under par. 1 stroke ahead of Randolph and 1 stroke behind Karlstrom. And Dan, he's down by the pond, and it looks like he has gone OB. And not a good way to follow it up.
Barry played safe, and now he's getting the benefit of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, gave himself a little longer second shot, but distance not really a factor for him anytime it's under 350 feet.
I think he had that hole figured out pretty well.
Karlstrom. Boom. Puts the sidearm just about within tap-in range. See his brother Anders Karlstrom caddying for him. Anders was at the World Championships last year in Houston as Randolph goes to the sidearm and puts it under the basket. And easy little layup there for Ron, but he's going to take a 5 on this hole. 3 for Barry.
You know, John, it gives you a little bit of insight into how challenging these holes are. I mean, these are the best in the world. Picking up occasional 5s on these, that's scary.
Well, 5 for Ron, 3s around the horn. And now back to hole number 5, the 315-foot tunnel shot. Barry goes right, and he's in the thick stuff. Still just about pin high. Let's see if Karlstrom can hit this. No, doesn't feel the need to play the fairway. He goes for the big Anheuser shot. There's a little too much wind out there for that. That got pushed into a pine tree, and he'll drop about 120 feet short.
That was an ambitious attempt, though. Oh,
well,
and
here's
similar, a little higher, but it's just so hard to keep the apex of that curve out far enough to clear that last big tree.
Well, again, this is one of the few holes that these guys did play during the week. I know some of them did have some success with that shot, but right now the wind is just blowing too hard from their right to left. Those big Anheuser shots are just getting knocked down.
Well, the other thing is I don't think that they might be able to feel the full intensity of the wind up on the tee.
That is an excellent point. I think you're right about that. Of course, now the flag on the basket not showing too much wind. Randolph will have a tap-in 3. Well, I take that back. It's like the wind is pretty inconsistent out there today.
Barry's in there pretty tight. Has he got a hole? Oh!
I guess so. Look at the mountains, Dan. What a beautiful venue we had for our tournament this year, as Karlstrom is in for his 3. 3 for Russell. Three for Schultz. And for Randolph.
It was a big attraction. I mean, we've had so many kind of warm weather worlds recently that this was a nice change.
Even the year we went to Minnesota, it was blistering hot. Hole number 5 across the valley, back to that tiny green, 549 feet. You want to stay out of the creek bed. Barry looks like he may have found it there. Look at this guy.
Oh my, that needs to find a hole.
If he can find a hole.
It kind of dribbled through there, but
yeah, I think he caught a little bit of a branch. Otherwise, I don't know that he might not have gone past that drive.
That branch wasn't a factor for most players.
Certainly not on their drive. That got turned over a little bit too much for Mikey there, but it's coming back.
Keeps the crowd involved, though, doesn't he?
Very considerate on his part.
I love this Discraft shirt. I mean, very cash.
Now, Ron Russell.
Oh, it just was so close to the right angle.
He's down close to the creek bed, too. Let's see what we have here. Yeah.
Way deep. He can't see it. He really cannot see where he's going.
I think
here.
He's going.
Oh, my.
That looked like he was going for a roller.
That was a tremendous out shot.
Barry,
a little different approach,
yeah.
But excellent result.
Karlstrom now, this would be a heck of a deuce. Especially considering how small the green is. He'd have to be brave or desperate to go for that one. Mike goes upside down and lays it within about 15. That'll be a 3 for Barry.
I'm just not convinced that we should be calling these greens, that's all. I mean, I don't get it.
Okay, they're not green, but all golfers know that the area that contains the hole is called the green.
Oh, so
but
it's tradition.
It is tradition. Not to say that disc golfers have to be traditional. Just let me know when you come up with a better name, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Hole number 6. 606 feet, and that's going to be at least 500 of it right there. Man, these guys are putting it out there. Karlstrom, just unbelievable power. Dan, as we mentioned earlier, all the 3 divisions playing the Safari Final 9 playing from the same tees, and at 606 feet. For these guys, it plays almost as a shot and a half hole, more so than a 2-shot hole. You see Mike had his drive out there far enough that just a nice easy little layup put him under the basket. And Barry goes just a tad deep. Run. Also right up there. Let's see if Karlstrom's got something that he can take a run at here. Well, he didn't have a good line at it, so he just went with the Heiser upshot. Now, before the round, tournament director Dan Ginnelly announced that there would be a $200 bonus for the best round here, and Karlstrom looking very strong so far this round. 3s around the horn as we go to hole number 7. There is 270 foot again. Heiser is an option, Anheuser an option. Straight down the middle is the option. That's a little higher Heiser than we've seen so far, but it doesn't make it all the way back. Karlstrom's going to be down on the hill, down by the pond.
He does have an inventive approach to the game, I'll say that. I mean, he always seems to surprise you a little bit.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, my.
Nice looking shot by Mike Randolph, and Ron Russell goes for the tunnel. Makes it safely between the guardian trees. Fades out a little bit, and he's going to leave himself about a 25 to 30 foot putt. Now Karlstrom trying to hang on to sole possession of second place. Oh, and he makes the uphill putt from 35 feet.
He's coming off, what is it, a 3rd place finish in the European Championships, I guess.
3rd place finish in the European Championships, yep. And I think in the top 3 as well in the Euro Tour. Barry with the patented straddle putt. And Mike Randolph was actually a little bit deep on what looked like an ace attempt, but 2s around the horn on hole number 7. Now to hole number 8. 777 feet, 420 feet to clear the pond, and Barry figures he doesn't need to mess around. And he's across. Karlstrom. That's no surprise that he goes with the direct route, and he is going to be well over the lake.
Wow. Not much of a factor, that lake.
No, not on that shot. 777 feet, but the second shot is well uphill to that elevated green, so it's going to take 2 big shots. If anybody wants to have a shot at a 3 here, and Mike, again, has turned that over a little bit. He's on the hillside. It's going to be a tough lie for him. And Ron elects to play to the safe side on the left side of the lake. And he should have a good flat lie from there.
Yeah, he's got a good look from there. It's just probably a little shorter than he hoped, a little more conservative than he really needed to throw.
Just about impossible to make it all the way on top of the green after you play that safe drive. But he'll be looking at an easy 4. Meanwhile, Mike's giving dance lessons over on the hillside. Well, that was just to get his mini down.
There, right.
And here it comes. Got a good angle. It's plenty strong. He's up on top.
That kind of footing, I mean, it really makes a difference. Oh, a good bit of daisy interference on that release.
I think so. Oh, look at that. Karlstrom now after the big drive. Puts the big hyzer, and that is about 15 feet. Ron from the short side of the green coming uphill. A little bit deep, but certainly makeable. And Mike Randolph for a 3. Oh, boy, it was close. He knew coming out of his hand it wasn't what he wanted.
If somebody just tuned in late here, wouldn't they be saying, this can't be the finals, there's no Ken Climo?
Well, they certainly could be thinking that. And he, as Karlstrom takes a 3 on the monster hole number 8. Ken started strong this week. He was in the leader group after 2 days and just ran into a whole lot of trouble. He actually fell out of the top 10 for a while, but managed to make his way back. So we're going to have a new world champion this year. So it's a 4 for Randolph, 4 for Russell and Schultz, 3 for Karlstrom, so he will be up first here on hole number 9. He is at 35 under, so he has, 34 under. He's got second place in the bag. Ron is at 30 under. Randolph at 31 under. And Barry, of course, who's at 40 under. Well, that was
I wonder if they saw the women play this hole. They handled it pretty well, actually.
The women ate this hole up. These guys have a bit of wind to contend with, however.
Oh, it's the wind. I see.
Absolutely. Of course, it may also be the fact that they're not used to throwing 320-foot shots. They haven't had to do that in a while. Oh, Mike scattered the crowd there. Ron's in good shape. Karlstrom's just going to lay up. He will have a 25 for the 9 final holes. That will be the best round out of the group. Randolph, oh, just off chains left. That means if Ron Russell converts his birdie, he will be in a tie for 3rd place with Randolph. I think he really wanted that one. Barry's tournament will go on for one more throw. Now Ron Russell for a 3rd place tie.
There it
and
is.
He has it. Good tournament for Ron.
Not a bad finish.
And Marcus Karlstrom becomes the highest finishing player from outside North America in the history of the PDGA World Championships. Svante Eriksson was 4th in 1995. Jesper Lundmark was 3rd a few years ago in Minnesota. Marcus takes 2nd. Mikey Randolph mugs for the crowd and finishes in 3rd. And here now, after a long road and a brilliant career,
a long road,
Barry Schultz finally makes it to the top of the disc golf world.
That's great to see.
Sure is. It's been a long time coming for Barry, former Sportsman of the Year award winner. And there's our Legends champion, Ted Williams.
2003 PDGA Pro World Champion Barry Schultz. Congratulations, World Champ. Good job. All right, we are pursuits for the banquet and all the ceremonies.
Those non-U.S. finishers, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Coming up.
What a week. The weather was messing with us. The course just tore us apart, mentally, physically, took our discs apart. Rough week. Happy to survive. It's great competition all week. We all had a lot of fun playing against each other. I love the weather. I want to thank the Disc Golf Gods for giving us some sun this final 9. And I can't wait till next year.
we'll be looking forward to next year as well. 2004 will be coming to you from Des Moines for the Pro, Amateur, and Junior PDGA World Championships.
Innova, #1 in disc golf for the 20th year in a row. These are the 2003 Innova champions. World champion, Barry Schultz. Women's world champion, Juliana Korver. Master world champion, Brad Hammock. Grandmaster world champion, David Greenwell. Senior Grandmaster world champion, Peter Shive. United States champion, Barry Schultz. United States women's champion, Des Redding. World distance record holder, Christian Sandstrom. More world champions have chosen Innova than all other brands combined. What's your choice?
Time to talk about Stancil Johnson.
Dr. Stancil Johnson, known as an artist of life and the flying disc, is a pioneer.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And I promise I'll get the next book out soon.
Thanks, brother.
Mark Horn.
Secret invitees. Mark toured Japan to spread the game in the 1980s, and he and his family have run the Wintertime Open for over 25 years.
Thank you. Well, a good portion of my life is revolving around Frisbee. I like overall a lot, golf in particular, DDC more. My family probably doesn't like that I like it as much as I do, but we all play, and it's really one of our family things, and it's the Frisbee family is a big portion of my life, and these events where I get to see people I haven't seen for years is my favorite. Thank you.
Somebody that I've worked very close with in the past couple of years and has done a great job for the organization. I'm very pleased and honored to introduce my good friend, Brian Honegger, as the next inductee.
And is the PDGA's first executive director, a position held with distinction. His dedication to making disc golf global has not wavered. Disc golfers everywhere owe Brian a world of thanks. Thank you.
My thanks go to my wife, the love of my life, Lori Gibson.
The class of 2003, thank you very much.
Well, John, an extraordinary setting, an extraordinary week of golf. You got to think Sue and Dan Ginley pulled off something really exceptional here. A memorable week. What's going to stick in your brain on this?
Well, I have a lot of questions. You know, for example, you have Ted Williams, who looks like a dynasty in the Legends division. On the other hand, if you look at Master Women, a newcomer, Peggy Berry, comes in and takes it away from everybody.
Yeah, that's really what's going on in a lot of these. That with the sport growing so rapidly, a lot of these people that we think are going to own a division, maybe it's not the case. I mean, look at Peter Shive. He's 3 out of 4 in his division, but here comes Pete May, and maybe he's ready to take that thing away.
He's closing that gap. And what about the Grandmasters? We don't even know if Greenwell's going to stay. We don't know if Vokes is going to stay.
And you bring back Monroe and Snapper Pearson from injury, and all at once, that's a dogfight there.
Absolutely. And Brad Hammock in Masters, he's got 2 in a row. Is he a future dynasty? Or is somebody else going to come in?
It's hard to say. Then move up and look at that women's competition. That was the most extraordinary. I mean, saved 3 holes. That would have gone tied to the final basket.
Absolutely. That looks to me like the tight race that's going to be there for years and years. And on the other hand, look at the Open division now. We've got a new winner in Barry, lots of other guys who were close all week. That one looks to be wide open to me.
Well, especially as we go into another year of national tour. when these people get to sort it out over a fairly long road, finishing up in Iowa next year, I mean, that's going to be a tough one for bettors.
Absolutely, and we'll have the amateurs there and the juniors there as well, so definitely looking forward to Iowa. But until then, I'm not Dan Roddick.
That makes me Dan Roddick, and this is John Houck.
And we'll see you next year in Iowa.